and welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway. Here I live with my husband, our 3 boys and our little Jack Russell Terrier called Mocha. This is my little corner of the internet where I talk about knitting, and I hope that if you love knitting as much as I do, that you have some time to sit down with your craft and listen to me talk a little bit about what I've been knitting on, and if I have finished some things, which I have quite a lot. Some big things that I'm very proud that I'm done with. So I hope that you want to join me for a little while. So you're so welcome if you're here for the first time. I hope that you will enjoy your time here, and welcome back if you have been here before. Really appreciate that you come back time after time. I have chapters or timestamps on the episodes, as I always do, and information about the things I talk about in the description box below. I am so happy to announce that I am finished with 2 big projects that have been with me for quite some time, since the start of the year, and now I have finished them, and yes, I am happy. I should have flags and cake, and I feel like I should have a party, because it's been a struggle, at least with one of them, and it feels like I feel lighter to be done, and it's great. The first I'm done with is what I'm wearing. It's the No Frills cardigan by Petiteknit. And this hasn't been a struggle, it's just taken a long time to finish because it's quite long. I will put in some B-roll to show you how long it is. I have knitted the size small. I've knitted with Drops Flora in the color brown, number 8, and Drops Kid Silk in the color almond, number 42. I have knitted on 4mm needles US 6. And I'm done. And I love it so much. It's just the most cozy, warm jacket or cardigan. I was very tired of knitting on this and now, so even though I had some yarn left, so I could knit it longer, I felt very done with it, so I just decided to knit the ribbing and be done with it, because I also think that this will grow a little bit over time, that it will be longer, so I feel it's an okay length now, and if it grows a little bit, that's also okay. It was a very easy knit, like the name said. It's no frills. It's great because you knit it's no buttons, but you knit the band on the jacket at the same time as the rest of the cardigan. So when you're done, and that's wonderful. You don't have to knit the button band or the band on the cardigan afterwards. That felt great. There are also pockets. I'm proud of pockets. Yeah, I will show you on the view, but I wish the pattern had said, and it might have said that, but I didn't see it anyway, that the pattern had told you when to put in markers for the pockets, and maybe it does say that, but I couldn't find that. So when I was going to place the pockets, that was a little bit hard to measure out, so you get the pockets on the same place on both sides. that it looks even. So I used quite some time to measure, to count rows, and yeah, it was a very back and forth with the markers to try and get them leveled. But I think I have done an okay job. And when I'm wearing the cardigan, I don't think you can see if they are not totally on the same row, because I don't think they are. But it looks okay. Because it was a little bit scary, because you do put in, like you do on afterthought heel, you put in the needle over the row you want to have your pocket in and under the row, and then you cut the row where you want to have your opening for the pocket. And that is a little bit scary. But it went okay. I was lucky. I managed to get all the stitches on both sides, or both pockets, without having any trouble. So I was so happy. And so here are the inside. Here's my pocket, and I have just sewn it into the cardigan so it won't flap. Or yeah. So I'm very happy with having pockets. But if you do knit this cardigan, I do recommend that when you come to the row you want to put your pockets, you put in stitch markers. So when you are going to knit the pockets, when you're done with the cardigan, then you don't have to measure and count stitches like I did. You just see that, okay, here's my pocket, and you don't have to stress like I did. That's just a tip. But maybe, as I said, maybe Petiteknit already said so in the pattern and I just didn't see it. That might be. It weighs 580 grams, so that is quite a lot of yarn out of my stash, which I'm happy with. And that's the no frills cardigan. All done after months and months of knitting on it. The next thing that I'm done with, that really was a struggle, is a sweater I'm sure you're tired of hearing of if you've been here before, and it's the Kløver sweater by CVEtulkaknits. Yes, I'm done. And I have given the sweater to my friend, so I don't have it here to show you, but I have some pictures. They are not great pictures, but it's what I have, so I hope that's okay. I've knitted this sweater in Suri lamb's wool, which is from Skappel yarn, or Skappel. I don't think they are Skappel yarn. Skappel. It's a Norwegian brand that gives out patterns and also have yarns. I knitted the size small on on needles 3 and 4 millimeters, US 2.5 and 6. And I didn't like the yarn, as I've said so many times. It's very dry and not and very tough to knit with. I didn't enjoy any of the knitting, to be honest. And it was pattern or colorwork over the whole sweater, and it was okay because you did knit in around all the times. It was knitted bottom up, and then you knit the sleeves separately, and then you put them on the same needle as the body, and you continue knitting in the round until you get to the collar, or the opening for that. I don't know what you say in English. I know it's a collar, but you bind off to where you're going to pick up for the collar. Yeah. And when you get to that, you bind off the stitches, and then you knit back and forth for the shoulder parts. and then you decrease to get this part of the sweater, which means you have to knit color work on the purl side, which I don't like at all. So I did what I have done before. I knit the color work only on the right side all the time, which means you knit back and forth on the right side, which is not very difficult. I enjoy it. There are several tutorials on YouTube on how to do it. The tutorial I use is from a Norwegian lady called Denise Samson. I can link it below because I think you don't have to hear what she's saying, or you can use the subtitles to see what she's saying, but it's very easy to see what she's doing. She has several different ways of doing it, but there's one method that I used that I was very happy with. But I don't like the pattern because I think I'm just so used to patterns hand-holding me, like Petiteknit does and other people. Everything is written out and you don't have to think too much yourself. But in this pattern, in the chart, the decreases wasn't written into the chart. So you had to remember them yourself, and then you also have to count in the chart where you are. So you don't see that the chart gets smaller, the chart stays the same, and you just have to count where in the chart you are after you have decreased. So that was a little bit stressful, but I got it done. And as I talked about before, I thought the sweater looked really tiny or small. It's wide enough, but it was very short and the arms were very short, and I was a little bit concerned. Even though I did exactly as the pattern said, I hit gauge and everything. So I was not too happy with how it looked when I was almost done. I have a picture of me trying it on before I picked up for the color, but I didn't think it looked too good, so I was quite concerned, because since it wasn't for me, it's no fun to give back something you're not, or give something that you're not happy with. And this wasn't a gift, it was just my friend asked me to knit this for her, and she bought the yarn and everything. So I thought, yeah, I didn't really want to give away something that I wasn't happy with. So I put all my trust in washing and blocking the sweater. And it's very funny because the other day I saw this reel of someone kind of making fun of how podcasters or knitting podcasters can maybe exaggerate. What's the word in English? Exaggerate? Make a big deal, or I don't know how to say. I have to find that word. Give me a moment. Google Translate is my friend. Exaggerate. It's a hard word. Yeah.
Exaggerate.
How much washing and blocking can do to your garment. That we often tend to say, oh, it will all be great when you wash and block it, and yeah. So someone made a reel about this where they showed a little child sweater, and then they washed and blocked it, and magically it grew so much that it was fitting for an adult. And I had to laugh because I do often put my trust into washing and blocking, but this time it actually really made a difference. I was able to pull the sweater out to the right measurement, and even though the length of the body of the sweater was 10 centimeters shorter than what it was supposed to be before I washed it, after I could drag the yarn or the yarn grew so much that I got the 10 centimeters that I needed on the length, and also on the arms and everything. Just, it was amazing. So I have a picture of me trying on the sweater after I washed and blocked it, because I was so happy when that all came together so perfectly. And I have now given the sweater to my friend, and hopefully she's happy with how it turned out. And I'm so happy that it's done. I'm done with it. I'm never going to knit anything from Scrappy again, I'm sorry to say, because the sweaters from Scrappy are beautiful, but it's just not something that I enjoy knitting. So all done, and I will never talk about it here again, I promise. But over to some socks. I have knitted the Will of the Wisp socks by This Handmade Life. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I've knitted this in Drops Fabel in number 602 Silver Fox on 2.25 millimeter needles, US 1. And it has this beautiful lace pattern on the front. My camera will focus. It has a heel flap and gusset, and it was really enjoyable to knit. I haven't been the biggest fan of Drops Fabel, but I really enjoyed it this time. Maybe because of the color, I don't know, because you get this nice shift in the gray, so it's almost like a self-striping. I really think it looks great. They weigh 82 grams and is my pair number 12 for this year. I have 2 more FOs to show you, or actually I have 7. But I am still knitting away on Christmas ornaments, and this time I have knitted some holly leaves. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, or actually it's a link on Ravelry to a blog where you can find several Christmas ornaments for free by CVEtulkaknits. So I have a plan to knit more of the Christmas ornaments that's on that blog. It was called Christmas Decorations Part 2, and I am knitted the holly leaves. I will show you some of them. This is knitted in Drops Daisy number 18 dark blue green, and the red is Dagmar soft merino 3021. And I have also, so I knitted 3 of them, and I have also knitted 3 in Rauma Finull. This is, I don't have a color number, but it's red and green. Some leftovers that I had. And it's a very fast knit. I only used 10-15 minutes on the leaves. You knit every leaf separately, and then you knit the berries, which also was very fast, and you have to sew it together. It doesn't say how to sew it together, but I managed to do it somehow, I think. So what I had to do, I had to wash and block or just soak the leaves and just pin them out to make them flat before I sew them together, because they were very curly. So yeah, but they are very cute, I think. So I am happy with them. I used the needles, I haven't written that down, but I think it was 3mm needles. And they use about 6 grams of yarn for the green and about 2 or 3 grams for the berries. So they were a lot of fun to knit, very fast and great for scraps. The last FO I have is for their square relay that we have here among Norwegian podcasters. This month was a new square from another knitting podcaster. She's called Jorunn. She has a podcast called Godt gammeldags håndarbeid. Good old hand, or good old craft, I think you can say in English. She has a lot of knowledge, so it's always great to listen to what she has to say. But it's a podcast in Norwegian, but she has made the square for May. Very fun square that I knitted in just one day. I have knitted this in Rauma Finull. I have forgot to written down what color it is, but I think it's mustard maybe, but I will write it here. I am knitted on US 3. Why do I keep saying that? I've been knitting on 3.5mm needles, US 4, and it weighs 19 grams. The square is called the retro square. So this will go into my blanket, which I'm going to make with all of those squares. So now we have been knitting squares for a year. So I have 12 squares for my blanket. So we have a lot of knitting podcasters in Norway, so there's a lot of squares left to knit. So I'm excited to knit more. I have a few whips to show you today. The first one I showed you last time. I will just locate it in my basket here. I am knitting on the twist loop topped by other loops in Filcolana Avetta in the color Marzipan 977. Really like this color very much. So I have been knitting for forever, I feel, because it goes by really slow. It's on 2.25 and 2.75mm needles, US 1 and 2. So every row feels like it takes forever, but I still enjoy it very, very much. And I'm knitting the size 2. And now I have started on the third cable, and that's the last one that is on this top. So I have a few rows left still, but I'm getting to the end real soon. And then I think there's some I-cord or something around here, and also something for the neck. So I haven't read that far in the pattern yet. I am eager to see how I'm going to fix this big hole because it's quite large. Yeah, but hopefully it will be okay. It did look really small last time when I showed it to you, but now I have been casting on quite a few stitches under the arms. So now I'm not afraid anymore. I think it will fit me just fine. So I'm very excited to have this done. I think it will be a great piece to have in my wardrobe for the spring and summer. Maybe for something that I can wear underneath this cardigan. That would be nice. So that's my twist loop. And then I am still knitting on the Hiraeth sweater. I'm probably not saying that right, but it's a sweater by Herb Garden Knitwear. And I am knitting this in Drops Fiesta, which is a sock yarn, but I think it will be great for this pattern as well. It's in number 3 light gray mix and number 13 green, and now I have split for sleeves. Let me see if I can fold this down. So now I'm in stockinette heaven, and this has become the new project that I have with me when I'm out and about, because it's great to knit on. Now it's just round and round and round, because there's no more color work until the oh, I lost my words. Ribbing. That's what I was looking for. There's no more color work before the ribbing, because then you will knit this again, I think. But this is very nice. It's done with pearl stitches, so you can see that it really pops, which is really nice. I'm excited to keep knitting on this. It's not a sweater that I need now, because we're getting into warmer weather finally, but for the fall and winter it's going to be a great sweater to have, I think. Knitting on 4.5mm needles, US 7, so it goes by pretty fast as well, because they're thick needles, I think. Then I, of course, am knitting on more socks. I have picked a new note with a new pattern on, and this time I picked the brunostsocken, or the brown cheese sock, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Lena Olseth. The pattern is also in English, so you are able to knit it if you want to. I picked up the wrong bag. This was not the socks. Here it is. And if you're not familiar with the brown cheese, it's a cheese that we Norwegians, or most of us, really love. It's a goat cheese, and it's delicious. I eat it every day for breakfast and lunch. I love it. Yes, I'm done with one sock. So it has this really beautiful color work on it, which reminds me of the motif that's on the brown cheese cover. And you can also buy brown cheese that has this flower motif in the cheese, or on the sides of the cheese. Maybe I can put up a picture, that would be fun to show you. It's a really traditional Norwegian cheese, you might say. Yes, what can I say? The color work is a lot of fun to knit. I am knitting with scraps, so I'm knitting with Viking Norgesragen in the color 819 brown, 800 white, and the color work I have used color by Fjord Fibers, which is a Norwegian hand dyer. Well, she's not Norwegian, but she lives here in Norway, and the color is called Autumn in the Air. And I'm holding this because this is more like a sport yarn, and the sock is the pattern is for DK yarn, and I'm holding it together with Filcolana Avetta in the color white, number 100, to get a DK-ish yarn. So I did knit. I was thinking that I could make a pair only with the brown, because I'm not particularly happy with the white stripes, but I knitted the, I think it was a heel flapping gusset that was in the pattern, so I did knit that, and I did knit quite a little bit of the foot of the sock, and I realized I don't have enough brown yarn for a pair of socks. And I wasn't happy with the heel, so I decided to rip it all back until just here before the heel, under the colorwork. So I knit a shadow wrap heel instead, because I think that takes less yarn, I imagine. And then I striped it in with some white. So not how I wanted it to be, but I want to use up my sock yarn. So that's just how it is. And I did knit the size EU 37. So I think this is going to be a gift for my mother-in-law for Christmas. Yeah, I think so. There are 2 sizes in the pattern. I knitted the small size, and it's a rounded toe. It was only written out the toe for the biggest size in the pattern. I couldn't find anything about the smallest for the small size, so the decreases was totally wrong for this size. So I did remember that the Koto socks that I test knitted for Knits had a round toe. So I went into that pattern, and she had a size with the same amount of stitches that this sock has. So I was able to use the toe for the Koto socks instead. But the toe for the big size is correct, but there's only one toe explanation in the pattern, and that was not for the small size. But it all turned out great. My next whip is a gift knit. It's for my mother-in-law. She has a significant birthday coming up this summer, and I really wanted to knit her a Dagmar jacket, because Dagmar is what is her name. So I thought that was very fun to be able to knit her a jacket that has the same name as her. The Dagmar jacket is by Petiteknit, and it's knitted in Sandnes Kos, or I am knitting it in Sandnes Kos, number 1021 light gray. And I am not sure which size I'm going to knit yet. What's great is that all the sizes are started the same way, and now I have come to the point that I have to choose which size I want to knit. But so far I've just been knitting on the back of the jacket, and it's a project that looks very overwhelming, at least for me. I had the same feeling with the Moby sweater. It was really overwhelming at first, but when I just started to knit, it wasn't really that difficult. And Petiteknit patterns are always great, and this is also so far very nice. And I was a little bit afraid about how this soft fluffy yarn was going to be with the cables and everything, but so far I think it looks great. And I'm knitting on 4.5mm needles, US 7. So thick needles, but this doesn't go by very fast. It's very easy to read the knitting, so it's not hard, and I don't have to go back to the abbreviations every time. I do remember what the different cables are, but it takes some time anyway. So this is actually a few hours of knitting, but so I am glad that I have some time. Her birthday is at the end of July, so I have some time. So hopefully I will be done with it before her birthday. That would be fun. And I hope it will be a jacket that she likes. That's always, yeah, a little bit scary when I knit for others without asking them first. But I want it to be a surprise, and yeah, I think she will like it. She's very knit-worthy. She is a knitter herself, but she hasn't knitted for a long time because of problems with her eyesight. And she's very knit-worthy. She uses everything I have knitted for her, so I'm excited to knit this for her. The last whip that I have today is actually out of necessity because we have a puppy and I have to walk him at least 2 times a day, early in the morning and often in the evening. And even though it's springtime here now and it's starting to get a little bit warmer in the weather, we have a lot of cold wind and cold air, if you can say it like that. And I do very easily get earache, so I have to use a hat. But now I feel like I'm the only one wearing a hat outside. People go with their short sleeves, and even we are Norwegian, so we are Vikings. So many people start to go with the short sleeves in May, even though it's 10-12 degrees outside. But when the sun is up, we often have like 15, 16, 17 degrees. So that's better to wear short sleeves then. But I feel strange wearing a hat. But I get such a bad earache if I don't. So I wanted to knit myself a headband instead, so I can use a headband. It feels better, and also I don't need the warmth of a hat because I get very warm, but I need protection for my ears. So a headband I think is going to be great. I had some leftovers after my field sweater. I used the Tove yarn. Discontinued yarn, but I have 1.5 ball left, and I thought I was going to knit the grow hat by Fibretales, but I decided I want to knit a headband. So I went to Fibretales Ravelry, and I saw she has a beautiful headband called Hiedra, and that is what I have cast on, but that is in a thicker yarn than Tove, so I'm holding it together with Hillesvåg Tinde, which is this yarn. I'm holding them together and I'm knitting the Hiedra headband. I'm knitting on 5mm needles US 8 because this is a little bit thicker than the pattern calls for, but this alone is not enough, and I wanted to use something in my stash, so I just went up a size on the needle, and I think it turns out great. And I'm going to do something here. You're going to slip down all the stitches here, and I think you're going to use a crochet hook or something to make something nice on the sides. I know there's a video tutorial following the pattern, so I think that will be very easy to do by watching the video. So this goes by very fast, and I need it now, so I have to just knit away on this so I can have it to protect my ears, because it really hurts when they get the cold air on them. I don't know why, but that's just how I am. So I have filled up my cup with warm coffee and I have made myself comfortable in my chair because I have quite a lot of Yarnjoy to talk about today. Because almost 2 weeks ago now, I was at a knitting festival. It was the whole weekend, but I was only on Saturday. It was only 20 minutes away from where I live. And yeah, it was so much fun. I met so many people there that I follow on Instagram or on YouTube, and some people that came and said that they were watching me, which was really fun. And I just had a wonderful day. I went alone, but that was not a problem. I met great people that I could sit and talk to and knit all day. So I was there from 10 in the morning to 7 in the evening. So I had an amazing time. And of course, there was so much beautiful yarn, so much beautiful knitting notions and bags, and yeah. So it was amazing. I told you last time a little bit about what I wanted to buy for, and one of the project that I wanted to buy yarn for was the Market Henley by Claire Jackson, and I did buy some yarn for that. I bought yarn from Enchanted Forest Fibers. Beautiful cream colorway called Cookies and Cream, and it has these beautiful speckles in it. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and I think it's going to be really nice in the Market Henley. Then I also got some yarn for the Revieris top by Herb Garden Knitwear, and I found this amazing yarn. Look at this. It's from CVE yarn, and the yarn is Snob Medium, Posh Sock, 50% merino wool and 50% silk, and it's so soft, and the silk really makes it so shiny. I had really trouble picking colors because all the colors were so beautiful. I had a very dark blue in my hand, a very light blue, a beautiful green, but then this popped out from the back, and I just, wow, I love this color. It's called Ranunkel, and I think it's going to be a great Revieris tee. I'm excited to cast in this on, hopefully very soon. At the same booth, CVE yarn, I bought some self-striping yarn because it was just so much fun. This is a DK sock yarn, and it's called Psychedelic. This is going to be a fun pair of socks. And then I went to a booth where there were some ladies that I met before, which is called Garnfene. They had made a special colorway for the festival, this one. And one of the ladies there, she had knitted this up in a tonight top by Lily Kate France. And if you have been here before, you know I love that top. I've knitted 3 of them. And I asked her if it was okay if I copied her. And she said, of course. So I think I'm going to make another tonight top if I'm not changing my mind, but I think so. This is also fingering sock yarn, and it's called Sørlandsvibber, which means Sørland is what we call this part of Norway, south of Norway, Sørlandet. So, and wipes. South wipes, you might say. South wipes. Yeah, Sørlandsvibber. That's nice. And the last thing I bought was a yarn that I really wanted to try that is from Hillesvåg. And there's a dyer there that dyes on that yarn. It's the new sock yarn from Hillesvåg called Fjære. And Garnbutikken Fortuna, they dye on this yarn. So I bought this beautiful color called Røsling. And I also bought 2 skeins of the color Circumferensen. Beautiful green. So this is going to be the base color, and this is going to be a colorwork color, I think, for some beautiful socks. So that was quite a bit of an enhancement of my yarn stash, which I really didn't need, but it was a lot of fun to be on that festival, and it's always fun to support people who dye this beautiful yarn. So, and I'm going to knit so much fun things with the yarn. Okay, I think I will say goodbye. I hope that the noise from outside where the carpenters work haven't been too bad. I will try to edit out most of it. But I hope that you are well, that you have a good May, and are knitting or crocheting or sewing on something fun, and have beautiful, beautiful days. Take care of yourself and the people around you, and I will talk to you again very soon. Bye, my friend.